Do you have border dies and you don't know what to do with them? Or do you like making cards that look a bit different? In this video, I'll show you how I created these 4 cards, um, all differently shaped from the usual ones. And I'll tell you, I'll give you a few tips on how to create them and how to make it as simple as possible. For the first one, I'm making a square card. This one is 4 1/4 by 4 1/4, actually by 8 1/2, and I just folded it in half. So it's gonna be 4 1/4 by 4 1/4. And then I scored it with my bone folder, reinforced that score. And for all of them, I'm gonna use like a white base, golden border, and then, well, not necessarily a white base, we'll get to that. And then I'm just adding another color that in my case it's going to be cream. So here I'm showing you that you could use a 6x6 base and either use that as a square or as a diamond shape, just to occupy more space. I do that often, that I use these borders in diamond shape instead. You could also, because it's a square card, you could also just cut different size mats and line them up and have like a gold border that's slightly smaller than your base, and not really use a border die. This one, the square shaped one, you can use it without necessarily using a die. It's the easiest one to reproduce. So here I'm just gonna glue that down, and what I usually do when I'm checking out if I like it or not is, here I put the white background and I consider making them just white and gold. And then I also had the cream panel. They're already embossed. I embossed all of them with the same 3D embossing folder. I love this one. It's another one from Spout Binders. It has just leaves, and I like it better with that color, that hint of color. But if you have a border that you really like and you use that border either in gold or silver, whichever you prefer, and you change the main color to any color that you like, I guarantee you that it's gonna work. Please prove me wrong. And then I'm using my sentiment, my main sentiment, in the same color of the border. All of mine I did in gold as well, because gold is my favorite, but you could do the same in silver and it would still look very nice. I had a few sentiments that I foiled a while ago. I had them prepared in advance. When I do them, I do several so I can save them for future cards. And when I'm in a hurry, I always go back to those ones. And I picked up 2 of them, this one, and I'm gonna use just the happy. And I had another one that says no one compares to you, and I thought I would use the to you after the birthday. So you would say happy birthday to you. But I actually fussy cut around them just to have the words that I wanted to use separate. And then when I placed them, I didn't like the way it looked. So you see me changing my mind here, and in the end, the sentiment will be just happy birthday. If you have kind of a, like, if it was slightly smaller, I think it would have worked. But I think ideally it would have to be way smaller that I could just fit it on the right hand side, and then it would balance it better. I don't know. I don't like the way it looks like that, so I changed my mind, which is okay. I usually, my cards are very over the top, and this time I did challenge myself to reduce it down to only the elements I really, really wanted and nothing else. So I'm not adding gems, I'm not adding jewels, I'm not adding images. This is it. And I actually really consider making it just black, sorry, just white and gold and nothing else. So here I'm adding the dots to the letter I, building them up, and this is it. I'm calling it. And on the camera here, it actually doesn't look that great, but when you touch it in the light, you can see like the shine of the gold, It really catches my eye. I really love it. Okay, so here I'm just showing that the border, it could be just a gold matte, and that cream could also be just a square. That one is the square one is the easiest one to reproduce, and you can change it to the size that you want. Okay, so this one I have two circles that I cut ahead of time, and I'm just gonna get my ruler and score. I'm not really measuring. Just don't make it too thin, too small, but I'm just scoring the top of the inside of the circle. That one will be the circle there I'm going to use in the back. And the reason you want to score the circle in the back is that if you score the one in the front, that fold will be in the middle of your design. So whatever you use at the front of your card, you're going to have a fold, like a line right across from it. So that's why usually we always score the back panel. If you have a design that allows for that line to be there, I think it wouldn't be much of a problem, but otherwise I think everybody prefers to do it that way. So the first one, I cut my card base as a square and I folded it and scored it. This one, I cut two circles and I'm using that as my card base. I'm adding a circle of that cream cardstock that again I had embossed already with my 3D embossing folder. Here I have a golden border with a white circle in the center. I'm gonna add another circle to that with a bit of dimension, and I just use fun foam in all of my cards. Well, actually, not all of them. The first one, this one, and that's it. The other two, they don't have dimension. I really like dimension, guys, so that's my weakness. Okay, so I like the two colors. I like the two neutrals. I like the cream and white. I think they look well. And my idea for all of these cards came from a few years ago when I started making cards to sell online during COVID. I used to sell them on an Etsy shop. And I noticed, like, I had a few people commenting that the cards, they're shaped differently. They're not just your rectangular shape. They always catch the eye, and people seem to really like them and enjoy them. So if you want to make a different card and not have to like really worry and plan about it and fussy about it, this is the easiest way. If you do have a stash with dies, especially, I am guessing that you probably have some dies that have different shapes. It could be a star, it could be a butterfly. BB Cameron has a few lines with spellbinders where she has these very beautiful shapes. I think she has a hummingbird, a butterfly that it's a card base size. They are just stunning. I would go for simple shapes and things that are symmetric. Those are your easiest ones. But like the ones I'm using here are the most basic shapes you can find. So it's a circle, an oval, a square, and a heart. This one, you could cut the back inside flap of it, like the border here on the bottom, to make it stop rolling around, but I didn't bother about it. To me, it's a rocking card. It's actually something I like about it. Okay, the other one here, you can see that I left that edge passing the fold of my card base. This is a card base fold in half, and that cutting edge is after the fold. Here I ran it through the die cutting machine twice. I'm just moving it around so I can actually open it, because when you take it out, it kind of sticks together. And this is the other way that I like to do my card bases for a different shaped card. I'm gonna add a panel to the back to make it sturdy, because the front will be a bit heavy and more chunky. So I'm just gonna add glue, press it down with my bond folder, and then another panel to the front because I wanted it to be cream, not white. If you want it to be white, you probably wouldn't have to add that much to it. And then I'm gonna add the oval border that I really like, and it looks just, I don't know, there's something regal about it. If you do follow this formula, you will end up with cards that all look like a bit elegant and clean and without much of an effort. You just used borders, and in my case I use neutral colors. That's it. There's nothing really special, but it really catches your eye. And all of my sentiments I either cut it at least 3 times, so it's going to be 2 in white and the top 1 in gold. I glued them together off camera, and all of the cards I am adding those elements with glue, and I'm putting the blocks on top and giving it a few minutes. Again, I'm just not showing it. The video wouldn't be too long. This one I am going to go and add other stuff to it later. I know it already, I'll be honest with you. I like it the way it looks, but it's just too clean for me. And this one I decided to cut the bottom. If you put it in your guillotine and you cut very slowly, you can cut just the back panel without cutting the front one. So that one won't roll around. It can stand open on your mantle if you want to. Here you can see how little I'm going to trim down from the bottom of that card to keep it standing upright, and it's gonna stop rolling over. It's really like a 16th of an inch. We're down to our last card. For this one, I'm gonna do the same that I did for the circle. I'm just showing you that you could either do the fold on the side. I'm gonna do it on the top. This one is not gonna stand upright from the tips, but I'll show you at the end how it could stand on display. I just make sure to fold over those lines that I created, my folding lines. I add glue, I hold it together, and I put some weight, let it dry, and then you can see that it works no problem. Once again, just make sure that the fold is not too slim, not too thin. And for this one, this could have been the easiest one. But I felt like it didn't have a border, so I went back to my over-the-top style and I created a border, which is, you could also do this if you don't have a border die specific for a certain shape. You could do what I'm going to do with this one and die cut several of something small. In my case, I'm using here flowers and leaves, but you could use butterflies, stars, anything small and that you think it's cute. I am shaping them a little bit with my stylus and my foam pad, and I'm gonna create a border with them around my sentiment and on the inside of my card. I did try to keep the heart shape, and I really like how this one turned out. This one is more my style. Clean and simple is so hard for me, you guys. I love the other ones, don't get me wrong. I think you really, the way I did the other 3, you really let your product shine, because the people who design those products, they put so much thought, so much intent, and when you use them like that, just as your main detail, as your focal point, you just let them shine. And I love them like that, I really do. But I also like to add as much as I can to cards, to be honest. And this is the result. I'm not showing you how I glue down all of that. I'm just kind of showing you on the screen how I go about sizing them and measuring up and figuring out how much I need them. And then I move them all to the side and I start sticking them down one by one. I'll show you here at the end my final result, and also I'll have a picture of how it will look on a mantle. If you like this one, please watch another one of my videos. I have several ideas. I work especially with vellum, and I would love to see what you create inspired by these ones. Thank you. Bye.